What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Cape Verdeans were a very dynamic group of people who managed to make something out of nothing. Family is very important for Cape Verdeans.
Who's your mother? Who's your father? Who's your grandma? Ah, we're cousins.
We are practically 1 degree separation. Everybody knows everybody.
We are not afraid to try anything.
One thing I think that's unique about Cape Verde is it's a connector between the old world, if you will, and the new, because we have our foot sort of one foot in Africa and 1 foot in the new world. Cape Verde is located 300 miles off the west coast of Senegal, off of Africa, in the Atlantic Ocean. There are 10 islands officially. When the Portuguese first discovered it, it was completely green, so they named it Cape Verde, which means the Green Cape. Which is pretty ironic, seeing as a lot of the islands are barren and we suffer from extreme drought. It's volcanic in nature, so a lot of the terrain is really rugged and rocky. Cape Verde was discovered in the 14th century by the Portuguese. After a while, once they realized that most of the land was not going to be suitable for agricultural production, they made Cape Verde their slave trading post for the Americas. And through this sad existence, the Cape Verdean population has been created primarily of Portuguese, and then of course the enslaved Africans that they brought over from the mainland. Those populations began to mix. It was a long period of heavy colonization and marginalization on the hands of the Portuguese government. Cape Verde was actually the last African country to get its independence. The independence took place on July 5th of 1975, so we're a relatively young country. Population in Cape Verde is just under 500,000. It's a democratic society. It's actually been awarded the distinction of being the most successful democracy in Africa. The Cape Verdeans have the distinction of being the first African group to voluntarily migrate to the United States. We're the longest migration of Africans in this country. The first major wave began in the early 1900s through about 1921, and most of those people came over on whaling ships.
New Bedford has been called the 11th island for a lot of reasons. Most of the people came to New Bedford searching for a better life. New Bedford was the whaling capital of the world. The ships would start here, and they would go to places like they go to Madeira and the Azores and Cape Verde, and they'd get supplies, and along the way they would get crew members. Behind me is the Lagoda, which is a model, a replica of a whaling ship that sailed out of New Bedford. Now, it's a 1/10 model. While the men were sailing, they'd go out on whaling voyages for multiple years. But their wives, their daughters, their mothers would be here building the community so that they had something to come back to.
Okay, women.
So how desperate and how brave these men were to leave the Cape Verde Islands and take a job on a passing whaling ship, knowing they're going to go out into the oceans of the world and pick a fight with the largest mammal on the planet. But they did it because they needed to survive, they needed to take care of their families, to seek their fortune.
That was the option then.
Yeah, so let's give women a hand clap because women always take care of what needs to be taken care of. Yeah. All right, so this is interesting to me because I've never met a Cape Verdean, but I do know that there's a big church community that was created by a Cape Verdean man.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, do any Cape Verdeans y'all gonna have to forgive me. I don't know the name of the church, but it's a big church. And it's all over the United States. And he was very successful in that. So let me know, like, if you're Cape Verdean, like, are you connected to, like, that church? Because it's a real big church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Len Cabral, and I'm the storyteller. And I'm glad to be in your school.
The history and the experience of these courageous people are kept alive through the tradition of storytelling. Len Cabral, a Cape Verdean American, has been telling stories for more than 3 decades.
I've been telling stories professionally for 33 years. Do rabbits have long or short tails? Well, now they do. But I'll tell you something. Long ago, this is a long time ago, rabbits had very, very long tails. Since the beginning of time, no matter what culture you're from, people have done 2 things. They broke bread, means they ate, and they told stories while they were doing it.
Yeah.
And people still sit down, eat, and tell stories. And in the Cape Verdean community, it's no different. People sit around the table and they tell stories. I'm gonna tell you a story that my grandmother, we called her Myrie, what she told me about the Cape Verde Islands. There's a fella over there in Cape Verde. They call him No Lobe. No Lobe is tricky. No Lobe is lazy. No Lobe wants something for nothing all the time. That's No Lobe. Every culture has a trickster, and the trickster's job is to show us the boundaries of society, what's considered good behavior and what's considered bad behavior, so we'll know how to behave. So that's how we tell stories about No Lobe, about being lazy. And this is what happens when you think you know everything and don't want to help anybody. This is what happens. So there are lessons, tales. And so every culture has these lessons, stories.
Thanks.
I like it when Mr. Cabral tells the stories because he tells that it comes from the grandmother and his mother and his ancestors.
It was really cool, and I just really liked how he acted out the emotions and told the stories.
We learn more about people through their stories. We learn about different cultures, places that we've never been to or read about. We can hear their stories and say, oh, they're similar to my grandmother's stories.
Yeah, I like that. And this is consistent work for him. Because inside the schools, I feel like purposely, I feel like you don't see that much. Where the teachers teachers or librarians get to sit down with the children during certain hours of the day and just give their purposeful, like, really, like, desirable type of work ethic that they have to give as a teacher, which is teach students through storytelling. Without a book in their hand. Because sometimes they push a book in their hand and tell them go read that. And let their imaginations grow that way. But then you have someone that can actually entertain, because kids are children. They want to be entertained at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the upper grade levels. But the young children, they still have it, you know? Like, I even went to the school for our son, remember?
Yeah.
His class, and I was telling them stories. And
that's why I say he have a consistent job.
Yeah.
It's not no one that's coming visiting. He has a consistent state job where he can do that for the students. And even the teacher spoke on that. She loves it. And I think that's a really good thing.
Yes. I love, like, sharing the stories, like, with our children, like the Perquoy stories. What is it called? The trickster. Anansi.
Oh, Anansi with the spider?
Yeah, like, I like telling them stories. And even, like, our Louisiana fables and, what is it? I can't think of the names right now. But, yeah. Mamu and all those stories. Yeah.
While Len Cabral tells Cape Verdean stories of the past, there are those whose lives will become treasured stories for future generations. Meet the Lumbas. They've been calling America home for the last 3 decades.
My name is Jeannie Lamba.
I'm married. I have 3 beautiful daughters, age 14, 12, and 10, Jacinta, Sarah, and Sophia. My husband's name is John.
Originally from Cape Verde Islands, I came to the United States back in 1981.
I came to the United States at the age of 14, 1979, do the math.
My family decided to come to U.S. or leave the island to get us better education.
My mom left Cape Verde in 1968, and I was age of 3. My sister, my youngest sister, was the age of 2. She came to the United States in search of a better job and a better life for us. It took 11 years before she could send for us to come and live with her here in the United States. So we pretty much grew up with not knowing her. When we met her at the age of 14, I knew her from pictures only. I had never spoken with her, never seen her in person.
The day that uprooted Jeannie from her lovely Cape Verde has left a wound that is still fresh, even after 30 years.
Last day in Cape Verde was the toughest day at diaspora for me. I remember that day very clearly. Everybody came out and to say goodbye to us, seeing my grandmother. I don't like to go there because it's still very emotional, although it's been 30 years.
Wow.
Everybody, said their goodbye, and, they just walked us to the car, and we just drove away.
It was not in Cape Verde, but 4,000 miles away in Connecticut, where John and Jeannie met and found a kindred heart in each other.
French class, Mr. Cherry, remember?
Mr. Cherry,
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
that.
and very shy kid in the front of the class. I thought he was Portuguese. He came from Portugal and he spoke Portuguese then. Mm. And then I was pretty surprised when I found out that he was Cape Verdean.
It started me walking her to class. And
Him following me to class. He asked if he could take me to my prom.
I made her a deal. If she lets me take her to her prom, then I let her go to mine.
What a deal. We dated for 7 years, and eventually, after that, we got married. We got married.
This is what I love. When migrants come to any country, they build these communities so where there are people coming from the same country would feel welcome and have like a family here. 2 people who had 2 different walks of life, they meet each other, and what are the odds that they're from the same place, but they kind of live in the same area? Nah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And of course, like a lot of time, her last memory was with her grandmother, and I know that's still gonna be an emotional thing for her because it's that last detachment she had to move on with her life to be somebody in the U.S. and meeting this gentleman and having that relationship back with her hometown kind of gave it that strength again. You know what I'm saying? I know that was a nice thing going for them. So
yeah, that's beautiful, and to see that they created a whole family.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Some of the things that I would have loved to have done as a kid, learn to play a musical instrument, particularly violin. I would have loved to be able to play the violin.
When I was 6 years old, I told my mom that I wanted to play the violin, and since then I've been playing.
We try to make sure that all 3 of our girls take at least one musical instrument. They take lessons.
I love it.
As the Lamba girls mesmerize their parents with their tunes, Jeannie and John contemplate happily about the opportunities America offers them.
The first thing that really made me feel American was getting our home.
Yep, we all want that.
When we got serious about dating, we started saving money. We paid for our wedding and then started saving for the house. And then when we actually got the house, I felt like, we've arrived. We're now Americans. We're living our American dream.
It sounds like a cliche, it's the best, but it is. America is the best country in the world. The opportunities that it offers, a person like me who had fourth grade education, came to the United States with a huge gap, graduated high school with honors, believe it or not, went on to college, got my 4-year college degree. I became a computer programmer and got a profession that I made pretty good money. And only in America that happened. I really mean it. Only here in America that happened.
Yeah, qual é a ilha que vous visitez de cada vez que vous vai?
Learning English was the initial challenge for the Lambas. But now the struggle is to teach the new generation their mother tongue, Creole.
The way that we try to keep Cape Verde alive in our children is by making sure that our children learn some of the language, although it's difficult because we don't have schools where we can just send our children.
Jacinta, we took her, the first time we made a trip to Cape Verde, she stayed there with my wife for 3 weeks, and she came back speaking Creole.
They don't speak English there, so I had to force myself to learn. It's hard to describe what it's like learning a language because it just comes almost subconsciously.
The ultimate connection for an immigrant family is to give back to their homeland. This is exactly what the Lambas do.
At school, my oldest, Jacinta, who is 14 now, her teacher asked if I would come to school and talk to the children, and I did. And of course, Jacinta did the presentation herself.
I told them that in Cape Verde, you were lucky to be able to have a pencil. And so that caught everyone's attention, and everyone wanted to learn more about Cape Verde.
They couldn't believe that there in Cape Verde, you couldn't run to the store and get a toy, or you may never have a brand new outfit.
After that presentation, we decided that we wanted to do something for the kids there. And we came up with this idea of putting together kits for Cape Verde. And so we had one set of kit was school supply, so it would have a notebook, pencils, crayons, rulers, things like that. Pens and pencils. Yeah, pens and pencils. And then we put together a second kit, and it was personal hygiene, so we put toothbrushes, soap, toothpaste. We put them together and we made so many kits. We just had one day of just assembling all the kits, and then we would pack them in barrels and we sent them over to Cape Verde.
I also have an organization that I run that's called Cape Verdeans United, and we build a playground for the children in Cape Verde as well as send school supplies, and we make sure that our children are involved in planning the activities, planning the fundraiser, packing the barrels. They are involved in every little aspect.
I personally distributed the kits to all the kids, and when we came back in 4th grade, my 3rd grade class got together and we watched the video of the distribution. First, I wasn't allowed to go. I wasn't going to be able to go because my mom couldn't afford to pay for my plane ticket. But I decided that I wanted to go back so badly, I missed it so much, that I sold sugar cookies. And I raised enough money to pay for my own plane ticket to be able to go to Cape Verde and help my mom build the playground. When people don't have a lot, the little things are what matter. And that's what, as Cape Verdeans, that's what we value, are the little things.
Knowing your history and reaching back is this right here, basically. Powerful, man. Very powerful.
Helping people.
Yeah.
I love it. You always got to reach back.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get so high on the pedestal that you forget where you come from.
Yeah.
And other people. It don't even have to be where you come from.
Facts,
other people.
yeah.
Don't lose your humility.
Mm-hmm.
Pawtucket, Rhode Island is home to a substantial Cape Verdean community, and at the same time to Rosina Restaurant, where you can find a variety of traditional flavors of Cape Verde.
Okay.
Korean.
The reason I opened this restaurant.
That's one thing about Cape Verde even when we reacted, we haven't reacted to that many Cape Verde videos, but the ones we have reacted to, it reminds me of the Caribbean.
Yeah. I mean, they on the island almost, you know what I'm saying, surrounded by water. So, and then saying that they're in the north look like they deal with more snow than they ever probably dealt with before.
Right.
So that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Is to have a place where anybody can come and enjoy our cuisine and our culture.
Cape Verdean culinary techniques take a juicy steak to a whole new level.
I'm Chef Costa, and I'm going to show you how to do the steak rosine. First, I'm going to slice it. After we slice our beef, we're going to tenderize it. Use a little bit of salt. We hit up a little bit of oil, and we fry it. Both sides. Might take about 5 minutes, depending on the temperature you want it. We use some garlic. There's a little bit of hot sauce. Special sauce for our Rosina style. We got it. Just add a little bit in here. We add a little bit of heavy cream. I fry one egg. When egg is fried, let's take it out. Put it right on top of the beef.
Okay.
Different.
Feeling this dish right here, y'all.
No review of Cape Verdean cuisine would be complete without mentioning the traditional cachupa.
The cachupa.
Oh, that's the meat.
Our main dish in Cape Verde is cachupa, which we have every day for dinner.
The ingredients for the cachupa is we have meat, corn, we have collard greens, we got beans, we got 3 different types of beans, the garlic, onions, peppers, we got the yuca, and the sweet potatoes. We do a saute, and then we throw it in there, we'll let it cook for about 2-3 hours. All the ingredients is cooking perfectly. Now it's time to serve.
Oh, that's perfect. Presentation and all.
Pastel de thune, a crispy and wholesome Cape Verdean side dish, employs tuna fish in a mouth-watering manner.
They're making tuna fish look like that. It's
for real.
Tuna fish fan. That's great.
We're gonna fry it in high heat. Some peppers, some onions, some crushed peppers.
Okay.
Now I'm crushing the tuna. Do olive oil. The fish cubes. Take a half of it. Hot sauce. Now it's pretty much done. It's ready to be wrapped up in a wonton. Now that our tuna fillings is ready, we're gonna stuff them in a wonton and fry them after.
It's crazy. That's crazy. Wow.
That's different. That's real.
Man, I ain't found out the way I love to eat tuna fish now. This gotta be it, right, for me. I can't eat the one,
Me either.
I can't eat the bread and mayo with a tuna fish on it
salad.
like that. I can't. I like this way. This look more better.
Okay. This reminds me of Asian cooking. That's what it's giving me.
They got that hot sauce in there.
If you're ever in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, make sure to check out the Rosina restaurant for a taste of Cape Verdean cuisine.
I see.
Music is a universal language. Utilizing this language, Marcy DePina celebrates and shares Cape Verdean music with her listeners once a week.
Once again, you're locked into Caribbean Zone 107.9. You're here with your girl, DJ MD, the dance floor doctor, your cure for the Monday blues. That's how we do here on The Movement, Cape Verdean Vibes. I'm a host of a weekly radio show. It's every Monday from 7 to 9 on the Caribbean Zone 107.9 FM in New Jersey. We're also online at CaribbeanZone.com. And basically, I'm the only African on a Caribbean radio station. My mission with this show is sort of twofold. One is to present to Cape Verdeans our music, to help them to remember sort of where we've come from, who we are, and to show kind of what's new and happening. So I play everything. I play tradition, I play new stuff.
A lot of the songs that I played for you tonight were classic songs, talking about the types of things that encompass the everyday life in Cape Verde.
The second mission is to connect Cape Verdeans with other people of African descent, whether you be African American, Caribbean, or from, you know, the mainland Africa. I want to show rhythmically how all of these musics connect, and then from that connection show how we're all one. And I even play music beyond that, because really the human race is all one.
I love that.
As Cape Verdean American...
Hold on before she even closes out. And that is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, in any country. Community should not feel closed out from everyone else.
Feel
you know,
that. Yeah, 100%.
Bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Allow people to get to know one another. And that's how you create people who get along, and they just have a understanding of one another. You know what I'm saying?
That is needed to have a better understanding of one another. Yeah, I like that. And not just that, like you get to have like an understanding on what their work looks like, and I'm gonna put it like this for you guys to get where I'm coming from. Opening your eyes and seeing what is needed from the people. You find a work like that. You find a job like that. You find your purpose and you call it, because it's talking to you basically at the end of the day. Like you get to wake up in the morning and say, I feel some type of way because I'm noticing this in my community and around the world. Let me create a job for myself so I can feed the people. That way, like she did, she have a radio station now and she's really speaking to everybody.
Yes. The only African on a Caribbean radio station.
There you
I
go.
believe that's what she said.
Yeah, yeah.
And bridging the gap between people. You know, because when you understand a person's culture, you understand them better.
Talk about it. Yeah.
You know, I remember I used to look at people's culture, and I used to look at it from I want to know more about that, but I don't know.
Same.
It's so different from me.
Same.
You know, but
Yeah.
now just having an open mind to people, I feel like I understand the people better by understanding why they do things, how they do things, you know, the purpose behind it. I love that.
100%. And for me, it's just like realizing that as you look around the world, it's going to be about somebody. So why not put your energy into that type of field of work? Because you have to cater to the people eventually. Eventually, your work is going to be not selfish work, but it's going to be selfless work.
Yeah. You learn a lot about the world.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Facts.
Continue to cherish and share their traditional music, or keep their storytelling tradition alive, or give back generously to their homeland. We are clearly reminded that the Cape Verdean American community is such a vibrant piece of the American cultural puzzle.
All right, y'all, we're going to stop right there, man. And look, at the end of the day, you really want to be hands-on. I feel like we do live in a backwards society. Sometimes you may feel like you're donating to a proper cause, but they're actually manipulating your money and using it for something different. So you really want to be hands-on with your work that you're doing so you can see the real impact. And as they was preparing the barrels and going out to Cape Verde, I'm thinking to myself, it would be a great experience to see their faces when they give these gifts and these supplies to these kids. And then she did the sugar cookie salad. She was able to do that, and I was happy to see that. So I didn't speak on it, but I just wanted to make that mention, though.
Yeah, and her being so young doing that and wanting having the will to do that. You know, it just reminds me of what we do, but this video is not about us.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so I'm trying to keep it on Cape Verde, but y'all know we that's how we relate to our audience, right? We have not reacted to much of Cape Verdean culture and people, so we would love to get to know y'all better, all right? So send in reactions to our reaction request form in the description box below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.